Hey YouTube, Crimson Tree here. It is about 24 hours since my extractions, and the numbing is all gone, so I can feel my face. I woke up at about 4 o'clock this morning, and I felt really swollen and in a considerable amount of pain, so I took an ibuprofen to kind of counteract the swelling a little bit. Then I was able to go back to sleep and woke up again for the day, probably right around 7:30. I'm not in any fantastic pain right now because I took a painkiller. But when I first woke up at 7:30, man, my face feel like somebody punched it hard and multiple times at the bottom, at the top, and I felt like I was getting a sore spot on the bottom because it really hurt this one spot in the bottom. So I went into the bathroom to take a look at what was going on over there and noticed that there was like a piece of bone lodged between the plate and my gums, and it hurt. So I was like kind of jiggling my bottom lip a little bit to kind of bring it down. Brought it down and I was able to get it out, and whoa, it was like instant relief. So I was really glad about that. I rinsed my mouth. I did not take my dentures out because I was told to leave them in for 48 hours. So that's what I'm going to do. Actually, he told me, Dr. Campbell at the oral surgery center told me to leave them in until I see my regular dentist on Thursday. So I'm going to leave them in. I wish I could take them out because the taste in my mouth is just like irony, you know, all the old blood and stuff like that. It just tastes like iron. So I rinsed my mouth out with salt water, and I brushed my tongue and rinsed my mouth out with salt water with the dentures in. Since the top plate rocks a little bit and doesn't have like perfect suction, I was able to like bite down on the front part of my teeth to lift the back plate a little bit, and it didn't cause me pain to do that. And it lifted the back part of the plate up just a smidge so that I could get some of that salt water under there and like kind of clean out the palate. I don't know how much that really helped because I still taste, you know, old blood. But it at least got the majority of the bad taste out of my mouth. You know, there's nothing worse than regular morning breath mixed with old curdled blood. Anyway, so I did that, and there is still a little bit of bleeding I'm noticing. Not much, it's not a lot, but it's a little bit. So you want to be mindful of that. But man, the swelling. So when I looked at myself in the mirror, and I've been putting this part just on the front, I don't need that apparatus around the sides because this isn't swollen, this doesn't hurt. I had one molar taken out that was back here, and I don't even feel that one at all. The pain in the front is so overpowering compared to that little whatever going on in the back there. But all my other molars were taken out, so that doesn't hurt. It hurts right here too a little bit. It feels like somebody punched me underneath my jaw, which is interesting. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the fact that my roots on my teeth were really long, and that's why my dentist had you know, told me I should go to an oral surgeon because my roots are really long. So that's probably why like my sinus area hurts a little bit and under here hurts. But I put my jewelry back in, as you can see, and I even put my Monroe back in. I noticed though that now there's a plate underneath it, so the Monroe sits on top of the plate and kind of sticks out just a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's not enough to be too noticeable. And I say noticeable because I wear my jewelry to work, And I think people there are so used to seeing it in my face that nobody ever says anything about it. So, plus, you know, I keep it small and very low key. It's not like I'm all tattooed up and craziness. But I felt like when I first woke up, to go back to my previous thought, when I first woke up, I felt like, you know that show, The Grinch? I felt like those people with the big upper lip all swollen up here. I felt like them. Now, I don't know if it's more pronounced up here because of the plate, because I can feel the plate under there for sure. So I don't know if it's because of the plate or if it really is just swelling. So I'm going to give that a couple of days and see what happens. In the meantime, I'm going to keep the, you know, ice pack on my mouth to keep the swelling down. I've been doing that, you know, periodically, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off kind of a thing. And the relief of that does feel good. It definitely has a relief to it. But I don't have any sore spots yet, except for that one that I had up front, but that was because of a piece of bone. As far as like the dentures go, I don't have any sore spots yet. But the soreness is real, guys. I tell you, I definitely feel sore. Nothing at all compared to the toothaches I was feeling. I'll tell you that right now. Those toothaches I was having from them broken teeth that I had in my mouth, 4 of them, man, that was legit hurt. That was some legit pain. But now, what I have now is not pain per se, it's more soreness. It just feels like someone punched me in the face, and now I'm just sore from that. And I know that the second and third day is the worst, so I know tomorrow I'll probably feel the real brunt of it, and then it'll start to heal. But, you know, I have some nice painkillers that will get me through that time, so I'm not really worried about it. And I am taking my painkillers, though, because when I first woke up this morning, boy, oh wow, I had a serious headache. But I'm glad the numbness went away. This was like numb for a really long time. This whole side of my face was numb until, I mean, I went to bed last night at about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and this was still numb. And I was really worried because everything else the numbness had gone away, but this was still numb. And I mean, I had my extractions done in the, you know, at 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So the fact that all this was still numb really worried me when it was 11 o'clock. And when Dr. Campbell had called me last night to check up on me, you know, he said it was possible that the nerve had gotten damaged or irritated. And so anytime that happens with the nerve, it can stay numb. But he said, you know, even if it is damaged or hurt or irritated, it'll heal. So when I woke up this morning and that was all, the numbness was all gone, I was really relieved at that, because I'd rather feel sore than numb or be numb forever. Because, boy, yesterday I couldn't feel my face to eat or anything. But now that the numbness is all gone, I am a lot more aware of that top plate. The bottom plate, I don't even feel it, because the bottom plate is literally made almost exactly the same as my partials that I had before. So I don't even feel it at all. The top plate, though, I'm a lot more aware of it. I do feel like I have to talk a little more carefully. As far as, you know, certain words where the back of the tongue hits the soft palate. It's hard to explain that, but with some words like the K in like, the back of your tongue hits the soft palate and your hard palate in the back. And so because that plate cuts off right there, the K's aren't coming out right. So really, the front is no big deal, because the front is exactly like my partial that I had. So any of the letters that are using the front of the palate is not a big deal. But words that use the back of the palate, I'm noticing some differences. So I'm noticing I'm having to I don't know, just correct how my tongue touches it. I'm aware of it. You know, it's not like a huge difference or, you know, craziness, but it's enough for me to notice. And so I have to watch certain words like, or cat, cat. You know what I'm saying? So you'll notice that when you get yours done, you're gonna notice certain differences in your letters for sure. If you don't have a partial, I can definitely see how having complete dentures are going to change the way you speak. And you're going to have to get used to that. You're going to have to relearn how to say certain words. And I vaguely remember when I had my partials, anything that utilized the front of the palate, I had to, you know, learn how to say again. Now I'm learning how to say words that use the back of the palate, which is interesting. But, you know, I'm getting there, and it will change, and, you know, I'll be able to talk a little bit more normally. What was interesting, though, my kids, God bless their souls. So, you know, the kids knew that I was getting all this done, but when my partner asked my son, so what do you think about your mom's new smile? And my son looked at me, and he was like, oh, you had your teeth done, that's right. I didn't even notice. Okay, I'll take that. He didn't even notice the difference. So, you know, boy, I tell you, kids really just they're not aware of their surroundings at all. They're so wrapped up in themselves. I think it's adorable, but, you know, you can definitely tell that kids are wrapped up in themselves. And I apologize if I'm looking off to the side. I'm just keep looking at my mouth and how the, you know, talking is going and how my lips are pronounced. But remember, in my old videos, I forget which side. No, I think it was this side. I think it was this side that had my natural teeth in it, and it was drooping down a little bit more than this side. I don't notice that as much anymore. Like, it's still slightly more drooped, and I think that's just because of the way I've conditioned myself to talk to cover my teeth. You know, I'll tell you something. Even if you don't mean to do it, when you've got issues going on with your teeth, you compensate you compensate for the way you feel about them. And I think I was always very self-conscious about my natural teeth and how they were looking, and so I would always like droop my mouth down a little bit when I spoke. So now I'm gonna have to try and get used to, you know, talking without trying to cover up my teeth. But they look exactly as they did yesterday. I did notice in the back where those hooks are, which definitely, those hooks could definitely cause the darkness to be more noticed, but I don't talk like this. So I just talk like this, so you're not going to notice it as much, which is pretty cool. I'm definitely glad I left those 3 caps, because I think if I had gotten rid of all my teeth on the bottom, I would have definitely had a problem with the bottom partial staying in, or I might have been more aware of it, kind of a thing, because it'll be jiggling around up there. Right now, that's not moving at all. The only jiggling I have is up on top. And I find myself clenching a lot, you know, just to make sure it's seated up there, because it does rock a little bit. I know I have my appointment on Thursday. I don't think they're going to do a soft reline or really any adjustments right now, because, you know, everything's still healing. I'm not even sure I want them taking them out. But, because that's going to be so gross. I don't want them taking them. I want to take it out, like, tomorrow and, you know, clean it out myself and put it back in. Part of me is afraid to do that, though, because if I do that, then there'll be absolutely no suction, because I'll have cleaned out all the blood and the gook that's been left up there. And that right now, that's what's giving me suction. And I know I can't put any kind of adhesive on my plate right now, not with all those extraction sites open. And so we'll play it by ear. I'm just glad it's done. And I think today, just for giggles, I'm gonna throw some makeup on and venture outdoors, because I'm tired of sitting in my house, sitting in a bed. Oh, so for breakfast, Because I didn't have any molars taken out, the sides of my cheeks and my molars are pretty fine. So I tried my hand, instead of eating liquid, I tried my hand at a soft-boiled egg. Now, I don't know if you guys know what soft-boiled eggs are, but basically you put them in boiling water and leave them to boil for 4 minutes. 4 minutes only. And then you cool it off and crack open the egg, and then the yolk is like a yolky yolk. It's very loose. And then I chop it up. So I had soft-boiled eggs this morning and chopped it all up so the pieces are real small. And I was able to chew on them. It's very soft. So, I mean, you know, you can split your fingernail through it and it's no big deal. So, I had that this morning for breakfast and that was pretty yummy. I will most likely have soup for lunch today. But, that's my 24-hour update. I'll probably take another video if I do decide to doll myself up today just for the hell of it. I'll do another update and show you that so you can see what all this looks like under pretty conditions. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to. And I will talk to you later. Peace.